Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Engineering. Today we're going to be taking a glance at Strange New World Season 3 as a whole, and we're going to be checking out the comments. Don't worry, there wasn't many. I think people are just kind of checking out. That's my personal experience. We were rip-roaring when we were doing Picard, and then now, not. So, who do I blame? Me or New Trek? Strange New Worlds in this case. I don't know. I should blame myself. All right. This one is actually not for Strange New Worlds. It's for, things that happened between last time I did one of these videos and now. It just happens that it included all of Strange New World Season 3. Hello, Mark, from Don P1. I may be a grown man, but I do love Star Trek's first ever web series for preschoolers, which is also its first on-screen project since Enterprise, with neither secret hideout nor weed road involved. Really? There's no secret hideout in this? Not gonna lie, I watched all of them so far. I did. They're only like 3 minutes long, and they just kind of got the same kind of plot, and you can just see these kids, run around with Star Trek symbols on. What's not to love? So, thank you, Don P1. Blinko Crobs. I've seen this person before. Do you think the strange arc of this and recent seasons? Oh yeah, this comment's really recent. I remember getting it after I said we're going to do this video, and I said, once we give Strange New World Season 3 enough time to kind of marinate, right? We're not going to get any more comments on that, are we? Wrong. We got another comment, which I love. I love that we got the comment. Do you think that the strange arc of this and recent seasons could be the result of the fact that the writers have a private marijuana addiction? I've noticed Canadians seem to like New Trek more than we Americans. This is the first I heard of this. It's good to see not all Canadians shill for this. Why do you think so many do? Is it because it's filmed in Canada? Is my observation even accurate? I wouldn't know. I don't know. Perhaps New Trek has damaged my brain. Keep up the good work. I usually watch without signing in. I was angry with your fellow Canadian, John Campia. I think I heard that name before. Today, and logged in to comment on his channel. Maybe that's why I'm throwing shade their way today. Yes, you bring up an interesting point. When you mentioned that you usually watch without being signed in. I postulated a long time ago that people are just going to stop signing in. They're just going to say whatever and just use YouTube and hope the algorithm gives them what they want. They're going to engage with YouTube in a passive way, therefore no subscribes, likes, comments, whatever. And they're just going to allow YouTube to take them on this, adventure in a sense on what they want to show people. You're not looking for what you want. You're watching what YouTube wants. And I did ask people how they were using YouTube. And a lot of them now just kind of don't sign in. And it is kind of strange. And I'm so glad you signed in and left this comment. Engagement of any kind is great. I love it. And with regards to the whole Canadian versus American thing, I'm going to be honest. I don't watch other people talk about Star Trek or review Star Trek. I just don't. I go on TrekCore, that site, for news. And when I'm looking at just news things, I will sometimes scroll by comments that people leave on each news article. And I go on that website, X Astra Scientia, just because it has so much information on Star Trek, and I do end up reading the reviews on there. That's it. I don't know what anyone else is thinking about whatever episode of Star Trek, really. So I wouldn't know if there's any commonality between people who like Strange New Worlds or don't like Strange New Worlds. I wouldn't know if they were all blue or green. I had no idea. So I wouldn't know how to say, Canadians love Strange New Worlds. I wouldn't know how to say that. I don't know if, people from the moon might like Strange New Worlds. Do you think they like it because it's filmed in Canada? Well, I think they film things in Canada now because it's cheap. And I mentioned before, I did respond to this in text. I don't think the average person is thinking about where this stuff was filmed. I think they're just kind of along for the ride, kind of passively. And I've never encountered anybody who said that they watched this because it's filmed in this location or any other location. I've never seen that. Maybe that's just my personal experience, but anyway, I hope you're not too angry with this John Campea guy. Remember that anger that you hold inside is an acid that does more damage to the container in which it is held than onto anything that could be poured. So let's move on, and thank you for the comment. Russwig. I can't speak on the lag time at Memory Alpha, but I will say that in my general experience, there is not much enthusiasm for Strange New Worlds going around. Good luck with your continuing reviews, and let's hope things get turned around at Starfleet. This is for an away mission I did. What's up with Memory Alpha? What is up with it? Right? It just seems like it's not being updated fast. The Wikipedia page, I forgot to mention, I do go to that site. The main wiki for Star Trek is called Memory Alpha. And I mean, I don't know if it's being updated slowly because they don't care, or people in general aren't signing up to edit it themselves. It's a community kind of site, and it's kind of freaking me out. Like, people are just not, they're kind of getting off the bandwagon, and if that keeps happening, Star Trek is just over, right? But it's been over before, and somehow it came back. Like, imagine if we could do a hat trick with that. We could do it for a third time. Imagine. Star Trek is on, it goes away, it comes back stronger than ever, it goes away, and then it comes back stronger than ever. Could we do it? If we consider, the TNG revival movies era going all the way up to today. I don't. But I think the kind of third era could end, and could we have the next wave? Like I said before, I said it somewhere else. I want to go to the store and see Star Trek things. Like, you can't hide that. Right? If you love Strange New Worlds as much as you love it, I hope everybody loves it. That's fine if they do. You can't find these things at the store. When I was young, you could find Star Trek things at the store. You could just go and buy Star Trek stuff. It was popular. It was on, you would see commercials for it on television. Maybe it's a product of a bygone era, and that can come back, but other sci-fi franchises are all over the place, and I don't know. I can't tell you if that's grassroots or if that's something that's forced by the company who owns the IP with this for that other Star franchise, but I want to see the second order, third order effects of popularity. You can lie about the first order effects, saying it was watched by millions of people, but it's hard to lie with the second order effect being like it's trending on sites, which it never trends now, basically. And the third order effect is like where you see kids running around with T-shirts on that say like Captain whatever, like from the new show. I never see that. I've never seen another person dress up as anything from Star Trek for Halloween. Other than me. It's just me. That's it. And I get out in public with my full dress on. I get like one or two people honking their horn. That's it. And they're old. I don't like that. But I can see little kids running around with their costumes on from other sci-fi things. That's a problem. But I'm rambling on here. And again, for the same video, I bailed out of your other video about Star Trek Con because I hadn't consumed that media yet. Caught the first 2 episodes a few hours ago. Bringing radio shows back indeed. I do like that Star Trek Con show. I mean it's audio. Is it a show if it's audio? In my mind, show means visual. But anyway, thanks, calyxa, if I'm pronouncing that right. James on the Rocks. This episode felt like they tried to shoehorn everything into a single episode, and it did not work. The series started off with so much promise, and it's just fallen apart from season to season. This is for the final episode of Season 3. Yeah, I agree. In my opinion, Season 1 is better than Season 2, and Season 2 is better than Season 3. It's a downward trend. They better correct it soon. And this final episode, It is so obvious this is supposed to be a two-parter. It's so obvious. And they ran out of time or money or patience, and they just crammed it all together and then invented so many things so fast, like ley lines and the idea of evil existing outside of the physical realm and like being able to inherit good and evil. It's very weird and not Star Trek and fantasy, frankly. This is a science fantasy show is what I was watching here. And it definitely had that feeling where a new Trek will often have this, where you watch the episode and you come away saying, what did I just watch? Like it felt like on the tongue, tasting this thing that I had just consumed. I turned on the television 20 years ago and watched some random fantasy action show from that period. You know what I mean? It just tasted like anything. I was like, what is this? I came away feeling that a few times, the barely tangible feeling of having watched daytime television when you're homesick from school and it's a rerun of something and you have no idea what it is. That's what this was like. Oh, I'm not a Nugget Blackheart, my hero. He's been here forever. I'm respectfully not going to watch this. This is meant for toddlers and young kids, and not for you and I. And then I said, I'm a child at mind. People say child at heart. I say child at mind. I have the brain of a tiny little baby. So Baby Trek was pretty good. Yeah. Don't take this seriously. I know people are going to be complaining about Star Trek Scouts. But if you watch this video, I'm not complaining. I'm just kind of like riffing with it. You know, I'm jiving with the show. So thank you. Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I knew this one was going to be popping off. This was the one we all knew was coming. This is for episode 8. 4.5 Vulcans. This episode is so ridiculous. Like, this is so bad I had to pause it to like collect my thoughts. And hastingb, Strange New Worlds has become a tongue-in-cheek satire, an SNL skit. The hypnotist says you're a chicken, and through the magic of acting, we are able to believe that you are a dead Vulcan. Oops, I mean chicken. You are indeed a Vulcan. Oops, I mean chicken. Yeah, it's just a hypnotist pulling the strings here. Hypnotize the audience. Yeah, I believe that they're Vulcans. Look, they're acting logical. They fit all the different hallmarks of being a Vulcan. Pointy ears, they're logical. I guess that's that. It's just one hell of an episode it was, I'll say that. T.D.K. Rick and Morty almost saved the Enterprise, but at the last minute, Rick went on an epic bender, you know? There's Rick and Morty again coming up, being like this kind of cornerstone of like modern animated, in this case, comedy that we all kind of think things revolve around. So people would say, oh, they would mock Lower Decks and say, oh, it's Rick and Morty, or it's Rick Trek or whatever, and or they would say, oh, I love Rick and Morty, it's just like Rick and Morty. Like it's the good and the bad kind of melded together to become something that everything revolves around. Because Rick and Morty was very popular for a time, and if you want to say this episode is just strictly a comedy, you can just kind of riff on it and say, oh, it's like Rick and Morty, I guess. At the last minute, Rick went on an epic bender, you know. And T.D.K. is here again. It's Saturday Night Live in space. Yeah, it's Saturday Night Live in space. Real, it is. It's some kind of skit. It's a skit. Actors that you know playing roles that you don't know and trying to yuck it up. And Undertaker, he's back. Keep fighting the hopeless fight, brother. This is from my Warp Speed review from 4.5 Opens. I do short reviews where I take my review I just did and take it from 30 minutes and condense it down to 3 minutes. Just get the main points alone. So thank you for commenting. And I had to stop and make a short in the middle of trying to watch that episode. And I am not a Nugget Blackheart comes in. Was Pike supposed to play a Vulcan or a Remulac from Coneheads? He really was like a conehead. That's what I said. I love that movie, Coneheads. It's exactly what it was. Exactly. He called it perfectly. It's exactly what this was. The way that Pike runs right up into someone's face and starts screaming at them, they're shrill, like in Coneheads. The people, I think they're from the planet Remulac or something, and there might be Remulacians, or I can't remember exactly how it works, but the Conehead people in that movie, go watch it, are so shrill, so loud, and they're right up in your face all the time. And that's exactly what I was getting here. It wasn't Vulcan so much as it was Conehead. And then this is interesting. This is the one I think about. Like, this was me being kind of upset at the idea of Kirk being happy about having destroyed that alien ship. Alien, spoilers for the Salat who ate its tail. Kirk was right militarily to disregard the lives of the opposing starship. Yes, he was right to disregard the lives, yes, of opposing starship. At the time, all 7,000 of them, human or otherwise, were enemy combatants. True. And Commander's priority at this stage is towards the safety of their ship and crew. True. Additionally, the opposing vessel didn't signal its surrender or that it was under distress. As such, neither the Enterprise nor Farragut were under a legal obligation to put themselves at risk. As Scotty stated, there wasn't anything they could do to rescue them. True. Even if they wanted to, yet he didn't state as to why that was the case. Lastly, other than logistics nightmare of constructing a starship in the aftermath of a global thermonuclear exchange, unless it got lost in the same black hole that Voyager 6 disappeared into, how would a pre-warp generational ship be light years away from the solar system? Even under its own power, it would still be drifting within the solar system. Oort cloud. Oort. It says Oort could, but I'm assuming it's Oort cloud at best, or well within Federation borders at worst. Yeah, my theory was that it was gobbled up by a bigger ship originally, and they somehow took it over. Look at the design of the ship in the opposing ship in the Salat who ate its tail. It doesn't look like humans built that. Spoilers. It just doesn't. My headcanon here, and then maybe they left a line or cut it out, was that they got gobbled up by that ship themselves and took it over somehow from the inside. That's what I think happened. And I wish they said it, but it feels right in my mind. Somehow they got eaten by that, and that's how they left known space so fast. Because otherwise they would never be able to get that far on their own. And yes, everything you said was completely correct about Kirk being well within his rights to disregard the ship. Yes, disregard the enemy ship. I think maybe what you're getting at here is that I sounded a little bit too nice to them. That's not true. You're allowed to feel bad about having destroyed the enemy ship, right? Actually, that's probably a good quality to have for your captain. I don't want them to be jumping up and down, screaming with joy after having defeated the enemy ship. No, I understand his misgivings, right? Kirk said he felt bad about having done that. Fine, right? That's just being human. But yes, it was totally okay at that time to destroy the enemy ship. Yes, maybe I didn't get that across. I'm not disagreeing with this whatsoever. I'm just saying that the captain, in a one-on-one with, say, the executive officer, should be able to express that it's not a 100% good thing to have to destroy enemy vessels, and once you engage in that fight, you both kind of lost. You're now just fighting to lose less, right? Because you're protecting your own ship, right? Is that true? Yes, I think so. So thank you very much. I did think about this comment for a while when I got it from Mr. Jei. Mr. Jai. I have no idea what the name kind of means or if I'm saying it right, but there you go. And here's a cool comment. Rich. 2365. Cool. Just cool. All right. And I made this thing U.S.S. Thomas the Starship, where I put the Thomas the Tank Engine face on the dish of the Constitution class. And Wilfred Gray, who is on this channel all the time, said, horrifying, toot toot. It was horrifying. Matthew James, thank you for the Strange New World reviews, Lieutenant. No problem. And this is just for an away mission, so it's kind of like a general comment. And then, how much risk does Star Trek need? Another away mission I did. Another one I really, really thought about. You are thinking like a civilian, not as a military or Starfleet member. I'm not. I'm a civilian. You are part of the crew. That is your duty, and you do it. End of story. Think about this, though. Also, it's a TV show. You are really overthinking it. I hope they don't think that. I hope that whoever is creating the next era of Star Trek does overthink it. That's what I hope. But, number one, the audience is a civilian, right? You want them to feel safe. Okay? If I had a captain who knew 100% in their mind that the crew was just going to do whatever I told them to do, that would not instill the feeling of safety in the crew. Right? It works both ways. The rules are that, yes, you follow the captain, right? But at what point is the captain doing something completely insane for no reason, right? And should you have the ability to call that out? I think so, right? Think about the captain who believes what you're saying and who they would be, right? No, the captain is considering the lives of everyone on the ship. Even if they signed on that dotted line, they are considering it. Right? It is a factor, right? The ship has to do what it has to do. And there is a level of unacceptable loss to the crew. There is a level that you hit. I believe they even said it. Unacceptable risk, unacceptable loss. Like where you lose a certain percentage of the crew. They're going to think, the top brass is going to look at that and say, was this really wise? If the captain's decision can be scrutinized at any point after the fact, then it must be that the crew's lives are important, right? You are thinking like a civilian, not as a military or Starfleet member. Starfleet or a military organization in this world must be thinking about the civilians. You are part of the crew. That is your duty, and you do it. Yes, I do. End of story. It's not the end of the story, right? Captains make mistakes. I want to do it. I want the captain to do things safely. That's why I would criticize Pike. Is it reasonable to shove the Enterprise into the atmosphere of that planet and shuttle to Kenfori to save one person? What would Spock say? Wow, Spock was in this show. He didn't say anything. He may have said anything, but he may have said something, but I'm not going back and watching it. So thank you, Psychonaut, for that comment on how much risk does Star Trek need. I want to go to the future. I want the new show. I want the show that challenges your ability to conceive of Star Trek. What can it really be? I want the next thing, right? The next generation, the next generation, right? What if the Enterprise houses thousands of civilians? What then? Is it possible? I want to find what's possible. I don't want to make the same show again. I don't want to remake TOS. Okay? I want to overthink it. Trust me. HunterSchoumacher. This is for my reaction to the Khan trailer. I realize that Star Trek II set the precedence of referring to Khan, Noonien, and Singh as just Khan. In the context of the movie, it works, but in the second season of Picard, we had Project Khan. Strange New Worlds also had a reference to Khan. Very unusual to refer to historical figures by their first name only. Never seen a book called The Rise and Fall of Adolf or Joseph's Great Purge. Just an observation. Yeah, that's true. But if we look at the name Khan, Noonien, and Singh, I think the word Khan is just cool. It's just fun to say. I don't know. And, yeah, so thanks for that interesting observation. I'm not going to scream Khan, but thank you, HunterSchoumacher. John Evans, the country version, Khan in a barn. Law, Karn in a barn, Khan in a barn. Thank you, John Evans. Skylar King, Tim Russ and T.K sound okay, But the rest of the cast and the teaser sound terrible in their reads. I don't think so in the full show. I think Khan sounds good, and I think the other augment people sound good for the most part. I'm gonna have to disagree. Teaser is one thing. Teaser can't give you the full picture. So I mean, go ahead and watch the whole thing. It's free. Go watch it. Go listen. But yeah. Thank you, Skylar King and JBPK3BZ for the Khan trailer reaction. There is information about STK on Wikipedia. This will be an upcoming American studio drama series. So think 1950s radio serial, but on the internet. It's based upon nearly 20 years ago. Sorry, it's based on the nearly 20-year gap from Spacey to Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Yes, essentially. Lieutenant Merrick, thanks for bringing this to my attention. I had no idea the project was going anywhere. Not sure I will listen. Why listen to a dead end? An interesting point. That's the prequel problem. Anything that takes place in the past, why bother? You know what happens. Sometimes, if it's well made enough, their journey can be enjoyable, too. You know, the beginning and the destination, if you know them. Sometimes the journey's good. And I think this one's alright. Okay, I got the same comment again. Is this from the Academy show? Is it a list of people who got kicked out? I see Belena Torres up there. And someone chimed in here and they completely misunderstood how I felt. I felt bad about this. Is it a list of people who got kicked out? And I just started laughing. I thought this was so funny. I thought this person was funny. Is this from the Academy show? Is a list of people that got kicked out, and then this not what it was before. Lieutenant Merrick seems like a legit question to me. I mean, I have no idea what the names are there for, but I do recall Belana didn't finish the Academy, so it's not graduates. I would conclude without context, kicked out. Blah blah. My assumption was based on everything Trek I have seen the last 16 years, which is not everything made. Is that this show is going to be a massive pile of steaming turd. So I didn't even know they had cast it yet, much less got this far, since I have no idea where the show is and how to watch. Idea how or where they show this in my country. I think it's another subscription just for Star Trek. No, not a typo. Start Rec. I'm not going to find out, so I suspect many will others. I will. I mean, why the IP is so derailed and even seen every episode multiple times pre-2009 era, yes. Stuff people don't have the first clue about. What are they farting out now? You got asked 2 questions, you ignore both of them. This killed me. I think this took years off my life, and just repeated one of them, which is not mega helpful. I clicked to find out WTF this was about, so I did the first 2. I know, but I'm going to with a list of people here that got kicked out of the Academy because it's probably something even more dumb than that. It's just a member. They're just doing that to show you the names. That's what it is. It's probably not anything more than that. That's why they put them there. Those names are probably just people that they thought were significant and put the names on. I don't think there's any one unifying thing or reason that they got the names put there. I'm gonna be real. I think it's just because we know who they are. I take your refusal to clarify as confirmation that what is actually going on is so incredibly stupid you don't want to answer questions about it. I'm sorry about all that. I just thought the comment was super funny. I don't really know what the wall of names is about either. It could be a wall of people who receive special commendations posthumously. Regardless, we know that the wall is actually there. It's just to have a bunch of references reviewers talk about and creep buzz. We'll know what it actually is eventually. Or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just gloss over it. It's just to create people. It's just for this. The names are on this wall so that we could have this conversation. It's so that someone would make that comment, I would laugh at it, and then you would reply, and it would get people talking and try to get it trending and get it into like the algorithm. That's what it's for. Yes, it's from Academy. I'm not sure what the list of names is officially about. Sorry for ignoring the actual questions. I am sorry. This is the worst I ever felt in years for seeming so glib like that because it was so funny. I thought this was a joke. That's what I thought. Sorry. I am not a nugget blackheart for Shuttle to Kenfori. People really didn't like this one. I am done with zombies. I honestly just didn't get why they needed them in this episode. I didn't mind the Klingon story though. That would have been more interesting to see without the damn zombies. glad to see that Ortegas' PTSD is actually being observed by Leanne and not just being dismissed. The dress down that Una gave was perfect, and although she is sympathetic, she doesn't let Ortegas get away with her behavior. I was almost expecting to hear that she's ordered to see the ship's psychiatrist or something, which would be a bit of a retcon in itself. But they didn't do that, thankfully. Overall, it was a 7 out of 10. You're very easy on it. Episode at the best for me. If they could have done something other side plot besides zombies, that would have been a I guess that means treat. Been a treat. I would have preferred that, but no zombies. That's it. So we got our Star Trek zombies now. Never again, I hope. I'm not super overexposed to zombies because I don't watch that kind of media. But I mean, you probably did, and you're probably. I am not a nugget blackheart. Very tired of zombies, and I can respect that. Ortegas was back on the bridge doing whatever in 5 seconds anyway. There's no real serious penalty for things here, but we do have to see Mbenga kind of get replaced by, I don't know, McCoy, or where's Dr. Boyce from the cage? But things are going to have to get a bit of a shake-up soon enough, because we are so close to TOS now. Not that it matters, not that they care really about having it work out like TOS. And so many things are presuming that this is the same timeline, or that the timelines even matter, and I don't know if they do right now. I don't know. So thanks. I am not a nugget blackheart. Yes, they need longer seasons. I did an away mission where I pondered whether or not we need longer seasons. Yes, they need longer seasons from Lewis 5020. I'm not sure if I should read these numbers or if they even mean anything. And then Wedding Bell Blues. Reningurvanes. I did not like this episode at all. I didn't like either. I didn't. It's derivative and boring. It's the first in a long line of super derivative episodes from season 3. But by the end of season 3, you're hoping for derivative. By that point, you don't want any more 4.5 Vulcans. I honestly hope this settles the weird quasi-romance angle and just leave it be from now on. I did like how John Reese played T, and I honestly think it was an okay episode. I think the problem is that it was released the same day as the season premiere, and honestly, the tonal shift from the season premiere to this episode was a complete 180 flip in such a short amount of time. I think it would have worked better had they just released this episode this week instead of last week with the premiere. Give us some time to let episode 1 marinate in our brains before we head into a lighthearted episode. They did it better with Deep Space Nine when Sacrifice of Angels was 1 week, then the next week it was the wedding episode with Worf and Dax. It worked because it was a week between episodes. I don't think this episode was going to work no matter what you did with it. Because it's just take funny haha romance stuff with Spock that we don't want to see and try to fuse it with Squire of Gothos and have a Trelane type being show up at the end in and end it the same way that the original TOS episode ended, the same way, right? And it's just, why did we bother? It's predicated on the idea that people really cared about Spock and Leanne and Chapel and I don't know how to read the room here. Do people care about that? Honestly, I don't know. I want to know. I wish I was psychic and could just kind of absorb the minds of thousands of people around me and find out what they really think about this. Do people really like everyone being in love in Stranger Worlds, especially season 3? Almost all the episodes involving romance to some degree. Do you like that? Maybe. It's from where I'm sitting, the romance stuff in Star Trek was always something that was 4th or 5th down the list of things to be thinking about. But hey, maybe this new generation just wants everybody to be in love or something. I don't know what it is. So thank you again from I Am Not a Nugget Black Heart, talking about Wedding Bell Blues. And this is, I just made this video that performed well about some ships that I saw that were new in the Strange New World Season 3 intro. To comment on Discovery this after they left, they might not have seen that before they left. Strange New Worlds is prime time, not alternate. Strange New Worlds is prime, is it? Did they see that ship? I mentioned that the people who went to the future in Discovery may not have seen these things, and then when they go there, they're like remarking about, oh, this is new, blah, blah. They got this indoor arboretum on a ship, and yet the same station existed in their time in Discovery, and then they're saying he's saying they may not have seen it. I don't know. Thank you though, ChanticoChulo. Fun name to say. Great. A video where the commentator has no idea what he's talking about. Really? I have no idea. I mean, really? I don't have any idea what I'm talking about? Maybe I do. I don't know. It was just things I was thinking about when I saw these ships. A lot of people wouldn't agree with that. But thank you, as usual, KamauNwabudike. That sounds like that guy's name from that game, Alpha Centauri, Nwabudike Morgan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, thank you. AlpharedKanisTholiman. Oh my goodness, they finally made me feel so much better after shortening the engines on the Crossfield class. Cool. Yeah, I mean, maybe the ships should look like how they're supposed to look from that era. Maybe. I don't know. Charles Lay. Another overanalyzed blah 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 video. I want my 9:13 of my life back. 9 minutes and 13 seconds. Overanalyzed? 9 minutes and 13 seconds? Overanalyzed, but the video performed well. Right? So, I mean, the performance would dictate that I should do this more, but I didn't. You want your 9 minutes back? People are really on this site checking out like 10-hour long videos. I call that overanalyzed. Okay? And I just said thanks for commenting because I really mean it. Charles Lay. And Charles Lay, again, another blah, 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 blah. This is here twice. I don't know why I'm getting these double comment things. I don't know if I'm going to glitch. I believe that this is Sign of the Magi. I believe that Discovery and Strange New Worlds prove one thing. Fans were perfectly fine with the original TOS designs and sets. Yes, they were. The merchandise for TOS still sells. Okay? It was fine. If you brought it back, I'm telling you, I said this before, if you brought TOS back somehow or some way, if you had to do it, and you made it look like TOS, it would turn heads. People would be like, did you see that show on TV that looks like it's from the 60s? What? I'm telling you, it would be different. It would be like, wow, this is so strange. I think it would be cool. But there's ways you can make it look like TOS, but make it more real. There's ways you can do it. Like someone brought up the example one time of a panel. They see a panel from the original series with these buttons and stuff like that, and it looks old. And then they have to fix it, and they open it up, and you can see on the inside that it's all fiber optics and blinking lights and things that actually look really advanced. That would be really cool. To see the internals. In TOS, we don't see what's inside of things a lot in the Constitution class in TOS. That's fertile ground for making things look futuristic, but still TOS. There's ways to do it. I'm sorry, I'm just getting hyped about this. Fans are perfectly fine with the original TOS designs and sets. Trying to modernize their look or using dramatic, darker lighting just doesn't work. I don't think it does either. They should have just moved forward in the timeline, yes, not try to rewrite history. Now Discovery and Strange New Worlds are just alternative timelines, like the Kelvinverse, Picard, and Lower Decks. Some of the ship designs are interesting and fun, but not here. A part of me thinks that if Discovery looked exactly like TOS, people... And this is my reply is what I just said. See, I'm psychic. I know what I think. Thank you, Sign of the Magi. Big comment here. from Not What It Was Before. I saw you before here. As someone who I guess is used to like Trek person, is it just me, or is the D7 animation worse than it in Prelude to Axanar? I think it needs more keyframes to not look like amateur hour. I know what you mean. The thing I was intending to comment on this is the mountains inside the space dock, and when did Star Trek actually get fantasy, not sci-fi? Wait till you see some of the later episodes in this season. The scale does not work on my mind at all. There's mountains and cloud formations inside that dome. And yet, that means huge to have that kind of atmospheric system. Like, I think that makes Space Dock bigger than Earth, possibly even getting close to a star. Not star. Then there's, but why? And so the Kirk era makes the Nemesis era look quaint and old-fashioned, like the tech is even more crazy advanced over 109 years from Ent than was ever implied in anything. Also, is that a crossfield? I thought there wasn't many of those, like 2, maybe 3, and they destroyed the Glen, and one of them got retconned into the future. It got retconned into the future. Where did you put the Discovery? We retconned it. Because plot holes. Oh, wait, the entire remaining production run is there in one shot. Wow. Oh, dear, it gets worse. Is that a Centaur? No, aka TNG Miranda, but pre-Miranda with a Nebula-class mission tactical pod on the top. I know what you're talking about. I love a good kit bash, but that's a 24th, 25th century design, not a TOS era design. Oh, the other Connie on the right. I don't think it's a Connie, but it looks more Gagarin, in my opinion. As those pylons seem too flat, and there's something coming back from the saucer, and I think in Star Trek Online, the model of the Gagarin looks a bit like that. They have been kind of like yoinking Star Trek Online things. Nice spot on what I thought was a second Crossfield class. It's a Kit Bash NX refit with a Crossfield saucer, and I hate it. I wish Trek wasn't this now. I mean, where did they go from here? More remakes of the TOS era? Are they actually ever going to try to do it better, to do it after this era of ship? Because how do you design language? How do you design language this mess going forwards? I don't know. You'll notice that as soon as Picard starts, like, what is that short? The Children of Mars or something? The ships all around Mars are just Discovery things. It's just so obviously the same models that really irked me. I really hope that one day they just retcon everything made after Nemesis. They can retcon that too. I don't love that movie either, Nemesis, because while not all of it is bad, it messes up everything in every era, and while I watched everything prior to 2009 multiple times and don't watch Trek at all now, despite clearly still being interested enough to post comments like this, so something clearly went wrong somewhere, it's like a train wreck, but of starship designs, not even starting with the net of a plot, as in it's mostly holes. The plot is a net, it's all holes, I get it. And it's such a waste of effort. We should be seeing 26th century designs by now, yes, and not, in my opinion, not, it's not TOS again. Trials and Tribulations is how the TO should be handled, yes, like a period drama and not this. Anyway, good work, LT, +1 replicator ration for you, yes. I want new things, I want new that looks like a feasible evolution, and it looks like a technological and design forwarding. Like, it's like the designs of bridges after, say, the Galaxy class must be like the Galaxy class, but more. We need to go in more that direction. I don't love the Sovereign class bridge because it looks tiny, dark, and violent. Why? I know the Borg is blah, 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 blah. Borg are here, so everything has to be blah, 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 blah. Sorry to be so cavalier about this, but we can do better. We can do better. The Enterprise can do better. Okay. I mean, I want to see a freaking swimming pool on the bridge. I don't know. That's completely insane, but you get the idea. Right? It should be a place you want to be. I want to be there. Make me want to be on the ship instead of away from the ship. Anyway, thank you. Not what it was before. I love the NX refit with the crossfield saucer. We got a lover of it. It looks like a modernized version of NX refit, like NX refit, something that would most likely happen after Klingon Federation War with the need for new ships. Yeah, wars tend to give you kit bashes, as they should. And there has been some cool kit bashes that came out of, like, Wolf 359, for example. Really hoping we get to see that up close this season. I hope so too. And as an STO player, I hope that this can end up as Strange New World version of NX Refit in the game. I used to play a lot of strange Star Trek Online. I used to play a lot of that. MovieLateNight. I saw you commenting before. Crazy. A one-word comment for my Season 3, Episode 1 review. I called it Battle of the Binary Stars. Wink, wink. There's 2 stars together in this. Welcome back. I am not a nugget. Blackheart is back here now. Welcome back. I was confused by the title and I was thinking I was having a stroke. But yeah, this one was definitely a whopper of a conclusion, although it wasn't too fond of the ending. I wanted more of an exchange of words between the Gorn soldier and Leanne. Somehow a retcon where the Gorn have universal translators in their suits and they can understand each other. Something dumb like that, but whatever. Can't wait on the second review. Watch that episode Terrarium to see communication between Starfleet and the Gorn. And powercage. Oh, the ride or die powercage has been here for so long, Purdy. This is me talking about my my uniform. I just posted a simple picture of my red uniform right before I started my Strange New World Season 3 review, simply because I was teasing the fact that the Strange New World's review season was showing up. And that about wraps it up for all that. And the rest of this is just, miscellaneous that I probably replied to before. I don't know. But, again, thank you for all the comments that I got during my Strange New World Season 3 review season. And as always, we're going to play a little game I like to call Yes or No. I find that when not given the opportunity to think too hard about it, people often accidentally tell the truth. Which means that if I give you a rapid fire questionnaire, right, you're going to tell me what you really think if you only got a second to say it. So I'm going to go through the list of Strange New World Season 3 episodes, and I'm only going to give myself a few seconds to say either yes or no. And we're going to tally up how we did and see if the whole season is a yes or a no. Get it? So let's check it out. Hegemony Per 2. Yes. Wedding Bell Blues. No. Shuttle to Kenfori. No. A Space Adventure Hour. No. Through the Lens of Time. No. The Slide Away His Tail. Yes. What is Starfleet? No. 4.5 Vulcans. No. Terrarium. Yes. New Life and New Civilizations. No. How many? Ooh. This season is not performing on the yes and no game. We got yes, no, 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 yes, no, no, yes. Whoa. Out of 10 episodes, I got 3 yeses. And I'm barely giving the first one a yes, just barely. So we're like 70% no. Yeah. Good job, guys. And by the way, they agree. I think it was, who was it, Akiva Goldsman? It was talking about how this season didn't end up that good. They're admitting it. Like, these people, they're not going to speak disparagingly of their own work. I understand that. But it's crazy when they kind of admit that there's a problem. And they've been saying it, and they said season 4 will be better. If they're saying it's bad, how bad is it really? They knew when they were making it that this wasn't it. This wasn't it, Chief. They could tell there was something rotten here when they were making this season. It's just production problems, time, money, I don't know. But there was multiple strikes, I think, during the production of this season. It took forever to come out. Usually when things take forever to come out, that's a bad sign somehow. You'd think that it'd be really good. Oh, you had 5 years to work on it. Often that means that the whole thing was piecemeal and patched together, and we've gone through different creative teams since its inception, and now it's going to be too many cooks in the kitchen, as is the case for New Trek in general. 20 million executives, a writer's room that has, 5 million people in it. I don't know. just a guess. Anyway, I'm Lieutenant Merrick, and that was the wrap-up for Stranger in the World Season 3, and commenting on the comments. See you when next I see you. So long.